What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Klepcx FM, brought to you by CritiX.com, place where we talk about movies, television, and pop culture. And of course, if you're into that kind of thing, make sure you hit the subscribe key and the notification bell so y'all can be up to speed about everything that we talk about here. Listen, it is officially Spider-Man weekend. All right. The movie has officially dropped. Spider-Man No Way Home, Marvel Studios, Sony have dropped a bomb on us this weekend. And the whole world is rambling and going crazy about it. So, of course, in good fashion, we had to have the most spoilerish, epic conversation with a panel of some of my closest homies. And we're going to get right into it. Without further ado, I got to introduce this guy because he's been my road dog with me in the field. We hit every Comic-Con together. We hit every comic book store together. I'm talking about none other than Mayhem Madness. You guys have probably seen him with me. What up, homie? How you doing, man?
What's going on, man?
Yo, listen. I'm excited. I'm ready to talk about this thing because we've been kind of subtle about it.
I'm ready to talk about it. Finally be able to talk about it, finally.
For real. But now, it ain't just us. We brought some more people. So without further ado, I got to introduce my next homie who started this whole thing with me. We were talking about movies and television and talking about the things that we love and we hate since day one. My man Miggs, how you doing, man?
What's happening, Clep? We back at it, dog. You know how we
are.
Here for Spider-Man today. We about to break this whole thing down.
Ooh, I'm excited. But of course, we couldn't do this without my big homie. You know what I mean? The godfather of this comic book pop culture. Without further ado, y'all, I'm talking about my man Al Mega, Comic Crusaders. Where you at, man?
Wepa, what's going on, kiddo? Thanks for having me, brothers. I appreciate you.
The Wepa man. None other than. What's going on, man?
I'm happy to be on, man, and talk this business, man, because after what I saw, I can't wait to get into it.
That's right. You just watched it, right? Like literally
man.
Man. Like minutes ago, you just watched this thing.
Yes.
But before, of course, in good fashion, before we get into this, just to give a heads up to all of you guys that are tuning in, this is spoiler talk. We are going all the way in. We're diving deep. We're not holding back. So if you have not seen this movie and you don't want anything ruined, I mean, I know the internet is brutal right now. It is almost impossible to get through it without seeing a spoiler. So if that's you might want to step out the room or step away, turn it off, come back after you see it. But if you don't care, stick around because we're about to get into it and we're about to talk about speculation. I'm about to break some crazy ideas that I've been thinking about since I've seen this thing that I think, you know, that I'm applauding about and things that I don't like about this movie. So
let me take out my wallet because once he says speculation, it's going to be related to books and I'm going to be spending some shit in a little bit.
I want to share this link out there too in a second so everybody can join us and have a good time. But guys, when did you get your tickets? Because I know you just got yours. Like you walked in on this thing like this weekend. And I remember that everybody was saying they was having a hard time getting these tickets. November 29th, midnight. I got 3 different showings, 2 different days, no issues. Were you one of those people that had issues when you bought your tickets day of release? Or
so you hit me up with the hype fresh after Thursday, right? Like you called that day one show, right?
Yep.
And I thought I was gonna be able to wait. But the hype in me, you know, like it wouldn't let it die. So I got on my phone, fresh over our conversation. I looked for tickets for that same night, you know, the late show, sold out. So I figured the next day, Friday, sold out. So I had to go with the old school Saturday morning cartoons feel. So I caught me that 11 a.m. show, and I was lucky enough to find, you know, some of the best seats in the house. So, you know, big up for that.
So you got an early morning show at 11 o'clock on a Saturday?
On a Saturday. I couldn't wait till nighttime, man. I really couldn't.
Yeah, I don't even know how you waited till Saturday.
It wasn't optional. Tickets were gone.
Nick and I, we've been watching this thing. How long we've had our eyes on this thing, Nick? Like we've been like
a year and a half. It's almost been like a year. Almost even probably 2 years. No, a year and a half. A year and a half. Since we first got word of it, we've been on it. So like a year and a half.
Wow, yeah.
Because I think we were talking about it and we were like next year. I could have, yeah. It was like a year. It was like, all right, we'll say like a year. We'll say like a year.
Roughly about that, yeah.
Roughly about a year.
Because we were supposed to get it, everything got pushed back or whatever.
It got delayed. So yeah, roughly a year.
So I ended up getting, like I said, I got 3 showings. I got 2 on Thursday, 1 on Friday, and I just hit Nick up. I was like, "Yo, you might come with me, make sure," because he's not a movie guy. Like, he don't like to go to the movies. Like, he'll watch the movie wherever. He doesn't care about the theater experience like I do. But I had to make sure, that we saw this thing before everybody, and we did. We went in. Tickets were shut down online, but we were good. Al, you had a different experience. You watched this thing. Like I said, I'm not throwing nobody under the bus because you did it the way that I normally wouldn't do it. But
brother, man, it's all right, man. I have tire marks all over me all my life. This is what it is.
So I just gotta know, because this thing blew up the box office. We're talking about 253 million over the weekend, and I don't even think they're counting today. They're not even counting Sunday.
They expected that to be over a weekend. I mean, they killed the box office almost in a single day.
Yeah,
50 million just on Thursday alone.
In a day.
And I calculated a large number, but nowhere near what we actually got.
Like, I don't know, like 50 million on a Thursday night. A lot of people, do you know that a lot of people still don't even know that there's Thursday night openings? A lot of people still don't. A lot of people, like,
no, believe you me, I have a friend that he put me, even before I met you. Shout out to my boy Hans. He would call me, leave me a message though, because he know Al not up. Hey, yo, bro, I sneaked out the house. I'm at the midnight viewing. I wake up in the morning. How was the movie? He has to talk to him. I'm like, you fucking nuts, bro.
but that's the thing. It used to be midnight. Now it's not even midnight no more. Now they have like official showings
during the day.
7 o'clock, 5 o'clock shows. Sometimes.
No, man, Nick and I, we went at 3 p.m. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon. The first showing, which was an X Plus, was at 3 o'clock.
Nice.
And then there was probably like a good 10 to 12 more screenings Thursday that day alone. And they were all pretty much sold out. But yeah, I mean, going into this thing and walking out of it. Now, I want to know what you guys thought. We'll start with you, Al. Going into this thing, expectations, walking out, your thoughts. No spoilers yet, but like just going in, what were you expecting? And when you walked out, was it the same or worse or better?
No, for me, walking in, just reading the hoopla and understanding the involvement of the multiverse and the characters that would be involved in the film, I went in like, okay, should be a kick-ass film. I mean, but how are they going to do it? I was still a little iffy. When I came out of it, I fell in love, and I need to see films from the other Spider-Verse to continue from the other guys as well. I'm happy that they brought them back the way they did, and like the story well told. I came out feeling very happy. Like, wow, this is an amazing, not just superhero film. I mean, this shit carried us through an emotional journey, which I can't wait to get into. But I walked out like very satisfied, big dookie geek smile on my face.
So you worked in with high expectations of Rip. And shout out to Ziggy, because my man Zig, he just said that he just walked out of it, and I love to know what he thought about that, because I know he did it big. He rented a whole theater.
Do it, kid.
He rented a theater for his son. Like, he rented a theater. Like, he did it big. It's a birthday, Christmas or birthday. I can't remember which one it was, but I know. Right. Shout out to Zig, man, because that's
a good. You want to adopt a 46 year old Puerto Rican? I'm here.
So you went in with high expectations. You came out satisfied.
I was happy. I saw a lot of things. I saw a lot of potential. So I was so happy. I mean, again, Dookie smiling. I went through an emotional journey. I think, it was cool.
All right, Nick, what about you, man? You were with me. You were right next to me. You walked in. What expectations? When you walked out, how did you feel?
When I walked in, expectations, I didn't know what I was walking into, so I was just ready for whatever. Anything that would have happened, I was ready for it. Walking out, I thought it was good. I was all right. So walking out, I was blown away. a lot of people saying
you sound a lot different than you did that night.
No. All right, so like it was because we were fresh off of it. We were just fresh off of seeing the most anticipated movie that we were ready to see. So walking out, I still had that high end. I was good. I right at that moment, I was said it was the best movie ever.
Best movie. Yeah, you know, he was saying that during. He was in the theater still saying that. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I would say it was the best movie ever, right when I walked out.
Okay. So high expectations going in. You walked out extremely satisfied.
Extremely ecstatic.
Okay. Migs, let's go. Where were you at, man? Walking in.
We're big fans of this MCU, and we're out here catching all of their content. So this movie has been on my list for a while now, and we know it's gonna be big. It's gonna be good because Marvel don't miss. And I wasn't one of the lucky ones that made it to the theater without catching any real spoilers out there, because there was people out there just trying to mess it up for the rest of us. And I'll admit, they got me. I went into some random comment thread, and they hit me right there with a few sentences, and I just closed my eyes and tried to backspace out of it, but it was too late, But all in all, it did not ruin this movie, man. I knew from speculations on the internet what we were gonna get. We got that plus so much more. The movie was great, y'all. I just hope everyone can enjoy it with us soon.
Yeah. So me walking in, I had high expectations. I knew to expect everything because Nick and I, we tried to avoid as many spoilers, and just like you, Migs, things would pop up here and there, but I would do the quick turn of the eye where I wouldn't catch it, but I kind of knew what it was, but I would just psych myself out like, no, I didn't see what I saw, and I would still go for it. Watching this movie, I was giddy. I had a damn good time. I was smiling most of it, clapping, cheering along with everybody. And I walked out, and I just kept playing in my head what the internet was saying. Everybody was talking like this was like the greatest movie, the greatest MCU movie, the best Spider-Man movie. But that's literally the same shit they say about every Marvel movie that comes out.
True.
Except Eternals, of course. But but they said it about Shang-Chi. They said it about Endgame. They said it about Infinity War.
No, but I think this one will stick.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
But for me, it didn't disappoint at all. I thought it was a fucking amazing movie. But it was just a Spider-Man movie to me. Like, it was like, this was Endgame, but for Spider-Man. And a lot of people have used that comparison. But I wouldn't put it up against all the other MCU movies. I wouldn't put it up against every movie and call it the best movie. I probably would put it up against all the comic book movies because it is high ranking in that area. But to me, it was just, I tried to hold back and say that this was special. Like, this was more than just a movie to me. This was how many years? 20 years it's been since the original.
Yeah.
So this was like a culmination of 20 years and beyond, because there's a lot of nods to even the original Spider-Man, the suit and just the character itself, that I just thought that this was magical, bro. This is not a movie thing to me. This was just an event, like a ride. Like I was speechless. I'm not even gonna lie. I talked to Wade about this, and he said, even though I kept saying I wasn't speechless, I kind of was speechless because I just didn't know this was bigger than just a movie to me. But I don't think it's the best MCU movie. I just think it's the best done comic book movie for a character that really dove deep into the mythology of the comic books. Like, that's probably the cleanest I've ever been able to explain how I feel about this movie. But yeah, I mean, but there are some faults. There are a lot of faults. Like, there are some bad things in this movie. So why do we feel like this movie is so great? Because there is a lot of bad shit in this movie.
It was for me, it was just finally a good, fun, expected Spider-Man movie using nostalgia and pulling on heartstrings. They did that well. And that's, I think, why it made this movie very special.
They did. Were you guys surprised? I know you tried to avoid spoilers, Migs, but the trailer, when I watched the movie, and I've seen it twice, so when I watched the movie, as much as they tried to hide, there's a lot of shit in that trailer that is in that movie that it ruined a lot of the shit.
You're
It
right,
wasn't
Clep. A lot of
because
the surprise factor was gone due to the trailers. You know, trailer these days, bro. You watch them, you could put together most of the movie, especially if you're out here consuming some of the content these YouTubers are putting out that they just break down, you know, second by second, and they get pretty much put together a roadmap of what these movies look like weeks, if not months, before they come out. So mind you, I'll be online, Clep. You know, so I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming, but never did it deter from what we actually got, man. What we got was really special. It felt special watching it. And even a day later after watching it, I'm still very excited that they went the route they did.
Yeah, I'm excited too. What about you, Nick? Did the trailer ruin? Like, because I know you like to see more in a trailer. Like you pretty much want them to fucking tell you what's gonna happen in the movie before you go.
Hell no, man, you crazy, bro.
And me, like after watching it, I was like, yo, this is all in sequence. They're literally showing us the entire movie in sequence.
Look at this guy. Someone even unsubbed from a channel for spoilers. Clap, look.
What happened?
Somebody unsubbed. So like they didn't want to be spoiled. They left the channel.
Jay's right. Jay's right.
Yeah,
You have to commit, because otherwise you'll catch a wild comment thread like I did, and you'll walk in there knowing some of the big points of the movie.
Yeah, and listen, for me, that trailer literally is like scene for scene in sequence. The only thing they didn't show us was the third act. So Nick, like literally, what'd you think?
No, like trailer didn't bother me. Trailer didn't give it away. I don't think it gave away too much because it didn't explain. There was a lot of stuff that we just seen stuff, and it wasn't explained to us. Case in point, saying like the whole Spider-Man running through the Mirrorverse, that wasn't explained to us. We just saw him running through the Mirrorverse. I honestly, when I seen that, I thought that had to do something with the multiverse. I didn't know that that was Strange throwing him into the Mirrorverse. So no, I don't think that the trailer really threw away anything for me, because they still didn't show. There was a lot of stuff in the trailer that they just showed us. Like even though I felt like they held back on the big surprise with these two, they didn't. Stuff wasn't explained. It was just thrown at us. So no, I don't feel like the trailer really ruined it for me at all.
I don't know. What about you, Al? You felt that way? Because maybe I'm just an overthinker.
No. I'm with you, brother. I'm an old schooler, and even my wife and I were complaining. Like, damn, they gotta show us the whole damn movie in the trailer. Like, you give away too much sometimes. It's like, then am I really interested? But because I'm a comic book nerd to the core, it's like, I really try not to watch the trailers, and and I really did avoid spoilers. I did a good job at that. And even the rule within Comic Crusaders, like somebody threatened the team, was like, yo, I know where you guys live. You know what I mean?
But not saying that it was a bad trailer, because I remember when it first dropped and I was like, yo, that was a dope trailer. I'm glad they didn't show us Toby. I'm glad they didn't show us Andrew. So I'm thinking the whole time that, there's going to be way more that we don't know about in this movie. But then watching it, and I've seen it twice, and I'm like, yo, honestly, there wasn't really anything I didn't already know. Like I didn't already like, or anything I didn't already expect. That's why when I said before, Nick, when I did my first out of the trailer reaction, I was like, expect the expected. So whatever you've been kind of, hanging on to or hoping or wishing, that literally happens. It's gonna happen. So anyone that hasn't seen this movie first weekend, I mean, good luck.
Yeah,
see this? Luck. Somebody said "Rip Ant-Man." That's what they thought was gonna happen.
I'm a spoiler guy, and I went in a bit of misinformation. Saw comments. Rest in peace, Aunt May. And I read it as "Rip Ant-Man." Hey, listen, whatever you got to do to help yourself get through it. I want to talk about. All right, so we kind of rolled into like some of the flaws, but some of my main flaws in this movie was some of the decisions that they were making Peter make, which kind of rolls into the Spider-Man mythos and who he is as a person. And I'm kind of glad that it ended the way that it ended, because I was sick and tired of naive Peter. Like, we get it, he's young, he's a kid, but there was just some shit that was just like, bro, you don't know better. You don't know shit. You need to just chill out. I get it. You fought Thanos in space, but Doctor Strange is trying to tell your ass that this is some shit that we don't understand and we can't control, and yet you're still out here trying to play superhero.
I wanted to smack the shit out of homie sometimes.
What Nick is shaking his head. Nick, I gotta hear what you. What do you feel about that, Nick? Like, do you feel like
no? So yeah, what you said there, where you got to give me an example, because are you putting this in a hole that he just made sense? But what? Give me an example of what you think that he did.
I got one, bro. I got one real quick. If he would have just pressed that button from the beginning,
no,
there is just no problems at all, bro. And
no.
But Mary Jane didn't let him. She didn't let him. Let's be fair.
Well,
Mary Jane didn't let him.
Wait. Michelle Jones.
Oh, MJ. Sorry, MJ. MJ didn't let him. She didn't let him hit it. She let him hit it. But she didn't let him hit the button. She didn't let him hit the button. And that was kind of cool. Like, the beginning struggle was okay. I get that. The beginning struggle was okay. But the fact that he didn't know any of these guys, he didn't know where they come from, it was just a little like, bro, you just fought monsters in outer space. And you're just going to trust these regular dudes who one guy got mechanical arms, the other one's a monster. This is just weird to me. Like, why are you?
No.
And your spider sense went off amongst the worst of them, and you still went against your own spider sense. You dumbass.
No.
I gotta say something though.
No.
William Dafoe would have fooled me, bro. That performance, bro.
Thank you. He needs an Academy Award for his psychoness. Imagine him as the Joker for real. When homie was punching him in his grill, he's there still laughing. I'm like, that's so Joker.
He's so good, bro. He's so good. I'm so glad. I'm so happy for him.
So you see,
I didn't like Stark. That's for technology machine. Oh, the thing that could just the thing that could just make anything.
And Happy is gonna get in trouble for that, because they pointed out, they're like, yo, the missing tech, bro. We know it's gotta be somewhere. You hiding it.
Yeah, listen. It's a great movie. It's awesome. I don't want to just keep bashing it, because it has fun. No movie is perfect. No movie is perfect, and it has great moments. But there is one thing that I want to talk about, that because although everyone feels like this movie is perfect, I want to know, what is it? Is there too much fan service? Because is that the reason why everybody loves this movie? Without the Peter, without the Peters, without the Doc Ock, the Green Goblin, and all, is this storyline good enough without all of that hoopla? You know what I mean? Like, is this a good movie, or is it just fan service?
So it's hard for us to gauge, because like you said, this is a 20-year epic for us in this quadrant, right? Like, this is so big because we grew old watching these, right? And seeing these characters coming back, like, it's just a very special place. So imagine somebody this is the first Spider-Man. Like, what do they get out of this?
It wasn't for what's it called? This movie wasn't for as like how you just said, this movie was not for the regular person that has watched this, has went into Spider-Man and watched this since Homecoming. Matter of fact, this isn't even for the person that went into this watching it from Civil War. This movie is for the older people. This movie is not for the younger people that are just now learning about Spider-Man. This movie was for people like you, people like me, people like the older generation. I feel like this is what that movie was for. Because honestly, even when we watch these movies, watching it into Civil War coming in, we watch it like, hold on, we're just getting a Spider-Man thrown into it. And then we seen, like, even as Homecoming went, we seen him, like, people weren't really feeling it that were our age. Younger people loved that movie, but this movie I felt tied in for the older people, for the older generation. And then even towards the end, it filled in. I feel like we're watching this movie, and at the end, that is where it's going to start for Spider-Man for us.
Jay makes a good point, though. Can you throw that up, Al? Jay made a good point. He says he loved the movie, but the narrative is thinner than usual MCU film. There's mostly plot progression only because development happened in past films, which is my point. Like, is this movie good because of fan service? Other than that, what story would they have told? What story did they want to tell? I'll tell you this. I will say this. This movie, to me, is Marvel and Sony showing the best that they could do together. Like, they're like, listen, they know that we've been at odds many times. You know, let's give the fans reassurance that we know how to do this together. And they nailed it. They said, listen, we're going to take what you know, take what you just learned, and we're going to make it work together and start fresh when this is all over. So I feel like that's all that this is to me, is like Sony and Marvel just showing that they know how to give the fans what they really want. You know, let's go out with a bang. You know, like, because we know that he's getting more movies. We know that. Whether it's going to be full on Sony or Sony and Marvel, we don't know yet. But
is Toby and Andrew going to get more movies after their amazing performances?
Honestly, I don't care now. At this point,
I want
wanted.
Toby. No, I want to see more.
I want Toby. I'd like to see Toby back.
Yeah, because the way he hinted when he was talking to Andrew and talking about, like, don't worry, just bide your time. You're gonna find the family. Are we talking that, the MJ, where MJ becomes kind of a Spider Family type, universe that we've seen in the comics? Does that happen to Toby? I would love to see that.
I mean,
it's a
the
multiverse
truth is
story.
that at this point, that door is wide open, man. Like, they have a base built for these movies to come out of not nowhere, but out of the past, kind of, right? Like, he could really be, like they said, fighting ghosts in the future. And I don't mean, Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I mean, like you said, Toby Spider-Man, or even Andrew's, man. Because, like, if anybody got a really strong redemption arc in this movie from those characters, was Andrew.
Oh yeah.
Andrew got to flex that dramatic muscle the most, other than Holland, but Andrew just nailed it a lot better.
I feel like, what's it called? I feel like Toby was the OG of it, and he was pretty much teaching everybody else teaching everybody else how to become a Spider-Man.
Well, because he should be an older version of the character. Throw that question up again for me, Al. I want to read what King Igor was saying. He was saying go ahead.
Before I crash for the night, I gotta ask: when the multiverse was cracking open and you could see villains trying to come through, did y'all peep Kraven the Hunter?
We definitely peep Kraven the Hunter.
We saw the spear. We saw the fur.
Yeah,
we were excited for it.
I was trying to see who else was there, but I
it was Rhino. Rhino was there too.
Yep, Rhino was there too. But there was someone behind Kraven on his right. But I couldn't make out who it was.
You know what? I wasn't sure if it was Kraven or Miggs wearing his pajamas over there.
Yeah. Now,
look out for me in the next one.
but to keep this thing going, like, since we're on the villains, we had the Doc Ock, we had Electro, we had Goblin, we had Lizard, we had Sandman. What the hell was Marvel and Sony trying to prove by kind of giving us the fucking shit end of the stick by not giving us the sixth villain? Like, who was the sixth? This was not a Sinister Six movie.
Where was Vulture, right? Where was Vulture?
I have a theory.
I
figure that they had to hold back on giving us that sixth villain. Otherwise, this would have had to end a little different, right? Because when these six come together, at least for the very first time, they need to be victorious. You know what I'm saying?
It's an ass
And
beating. Yeah.
this wasn't that movie for them. So therefore, let's hold back on giving you that sixth person so they can like really unite and take over whoever it needs to be. Because at the end of the day, Marvel has such a plethora of characters. The roster is ridiculous that if Spider-Man finds himself in a place going against these six and he don't get some help, whether it's from the Spider-Verse or from anywhere else in the MCU, like there's no way that these villains can win if it wasn't the way this way went down.
So you think they're gonna do the Return of the Sinister Six storyline? They're gonna bring these guys back? Is that what you're telling me?
Maybe not those same six, but yeah. Like we listen, we could see a whole nother roster. I mean, we just we getting Craven, we getting Mobius. You know, we could see an evil Venom in there. Like you never know, man. They could get creative.
I don't know. I mean, I don't see how they can make a bigger movie with the same villains all over again, and unless they introduce, like I said, unless they put Craven in this. Like what King is saying, if we get the real Rhino, like not the Rhino machine,
not this Rhino machine with the Russian Rhino, right?
Well, Craven is getting his own movie. He's getting his own movie for sure. They've already announced it. With Aaron Taylor Johnson, Kick-Ass is playing him.
Kick-Ass.
I don't know, man. I'm not interested yet. I'm ready to see different storylines with him. I'm interested in the college arc. I want to see that. I want to see Felicia Hardy. I need to see her.
Hey.
I want to see, Black Cat. Yeah. So I'm ready to see that stuff. But the third act was flawless to me. I feel like everything that happened and led up to this movie, there were a lot of stakes in this movie. One in particular, the fight between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man was phenomenal. High stakes. I feel like Doctor Strange schooled the fuck out of Spider-Man. That was the one moment where he thought he knew better and got his ass handed to him. He thinks he won,
but still overcame him, kind of, though.
Yeah, Spider-Man definitely got that W.
He could say he could say he took that win, but Strange was handing his ass to him.
Oh, hell yeah! I mean, with some shit like that, this Puerto Rico would have been lost in geometry. I'm sorry, Spider-Man. I'm fucked.
I'll be caught in there forever.
And then, of course, the most iconic and memorable moment for me, an emotional moment, because I'm not gonna lie, I shed a tear. I choked up twice when I watched this. Was when Aunt May said the responsibility line and kicked the bucket. Like
that was tough.
That wow! Yeah. Did y'all see that coming at all?
I knew it because that was one of the spoilers that got me, but it still worked.
I knew it.
Huh?
But my old dad.
I said I didn't see her taking on like that role of being Uncle Ben. I didn't see that.
Me neither.
I definitely seen that she was gonna die. Not before I seen the movie, but in there I definitely seen that she was gonna die. I don't know. I just had a feeling that some way that since we didn't get an Uncle Ben, I just thought she was gonna die. I thought it was already a wrap for her going into this.
Ah, man, I'm becoming a softie in my old age, Klep, because I was sad. I was so sad.
Let me explain to you how important that scene was to me, because it was more than just the fact that it happened. It was probably the most emotional part in the whole movie, other than when Spider-Man was giving Goblin the business, and when Andrew caught MJ. That moment right there was when a spark went off in my head, and I said, Kevin Feige has been grooming the fans for this since WandaVision. And let me explain to you what I'm talking about. So, a lot of people think that you don't have to watch WandaVision, Loki, or the What If show to understand what's going on. But the fact that they had all these different Spider-Men there, and the moment when Peter's on the roof and he's talking to Andrew and Toby, and they're explaining to them about their situations and how Peter feels like Aunt May died for no reason. And I'm like, yo, that's when it clicked. I said, so we got a little bit of like, reality bending in WandaVision, which was cool, which was linked into Doctor Strange and stuff like that. And then we got Loki, which was about the multiverse and about variants and different versions of each individual person. Even though they were all different, they were all pretty much the same. So now in this universe where we have Peter running into different Spider-Man who all have tragedy, who are all supposed to have tragedy, because without tragedy, they're not their better self.
Yep.
So Feige was telling us this in Loki, but a lot of people skip Loki because they don't fuck with Loki. But you know what? At the end of the day, you needed to watch that so that you could understand the concept of variance. When people were watching this trailer, everybody thought that the variants were going to be the villains. Oh, these are different villains from a different world. Maybe they're not the same villains. No, the variant was Spider-Man. Variant was Spider-Man is the variant. Spider-Man is the Loki. And he ran into himself, and now he's learning that I'm supposed to lose. I'm supposed to have loss, because if I don't have loss, I don't have motivation to be the best Spider-Man I can be. When Toby says she didn't die for nothing, I think it clicked in his head like, yeah, like this is supposed to, because if Aunt May was still around, Peter wouldn't go off to live on his own. He wouldn't be an adult. He wouldn't grow up. She's always coddling him and always there for him when he needs something. And he lost Tony, he lost Aunt May, and he lost his friend. So now he feels loneliness. He feels alone. Now we're going to see the best Spider-Man that we were supposed to see from jump. What If is also another one that dropped a gem, and we get a little bit of that in the Doctor Strange trailer, but at the same time, it still applies to Spider-Man, because in the What If show, you learn that no matter how many different realities there are, every character has the same outcome, no matter what happens. Different universe. How many times did Tony die in the
constant?
Cartoon? How many times did Tony die in that cartoon? And people complained about it. There were articles about, why does Tony keep dying? Because he's supposed to die. Doesn't matter.
A constant, yeah.
Exactly. So this is what Peter's learning. Like, it doesn't matter what universe I'm in, that Spider-Man is supposed to have loss, supposed to feel loneliness, because that's how he becomes the better person that he is. And that was the one thing that I loved about the whole arc with, with Aunt May, when she says that, because it's like, okay, so you don't have an Uncle Ben, but that's your Uncle Ben. Yeah. This is the person, and it's your fault, just like it was everyone else's fault. You know what I mean? So that part hit me. That was probably the part that made me say, yo, this movie is fucking phenomenal, because of that arc right there. Everything else was fun and games and explosions and the team up and all that. But that moment right there was good writing. If you deep dive and think about it, I think that was, I don't know. Did any of you guys get that from that?
Yeah, not Dan. I mean, you really took a deep dive, but I definitely felt that whole emotional moment. Just, being a Spider-Man fan and understanding how, like you said, Spider-Man is a broken character, and only through that brokenness, has he elevated to be a greater version of himself. So yeah, you could see that in the constants within the conversation, like that, like he was talking about one of my favorite scenes, and when they saw Toby do the webbing, you're organic. Like, where else does it come from? Meaning, like normally it's to come from your ass, but hey, bro, I was cracking up. But what a great moment, though, just between them, because here they, like Andrew said, like, for once I have brothers, that was such a brotherly moment.
Yeah.
No,
they gave him the best dialogue in that movie, which is kind of strange.
And I appreciate that. No, because I told you, for me, Andrew was the best Peter Parker. Toby for me was my best my Spider-Man, but now I can respect Tom a lot. But and you could see how great Andrew is as a Peter in this film. And I'm glad that people could see that. And not just a Peter, but a Spider-Man. But you could see that he was such a Peter, and I loved him, and people shitted on him at the beginning. I said, nah, bro, he's the perfect Peter. He feels the Steve Ditko Peter. That's who he is.
This movie is 3 movies in one. It's literally, it's Toby's arc. Toby's closure. It's Andrew's closure, and it's essentially Holland's closure as well. That moment when Andrew catches MJ.
Bro, dude, that was emotional, because you felt his relief, like, holy shit, I succeeded. I mean, we all read that comic book. We all read that.
What's funny is that fans were calling that before it ever happened. I didn't. I didn't expect it to be that on the nose. I didn't think they were going to actually do that, but I'm glad they did. But I don't know. Did you guys know that was going to? Did you
No, I
think that was
didn't
going to happen?
expect no shit like that, but it
Once
Nick,
was
you didn't think?
cool.
once once
I
I
didn't see.
once I seen that we had once speculation went out that Andrew Garfield and Toby was going to be in there, and then right after, once we seen the trailer and we seen that part with her falling, I was like, yeah, okay, he's going to catch it. I knew that part. Like,
Really?
yeah, I was
You
like,
know it was
yeah,
gonna be Garfield though.
yeah,
That's
you knew
so.
it was going to be him.
Maybe that was just me wanting to be surprised. I was like, Marvel wouldn't be that on the nose. Like everyone was calling it right, like you said, right after they saw the trailer, everyone was calling that was going to happen. And
Yeah,
I guess I was in denial, but I mean, I'm glad it happened. I'm glad it really, really happened. Um, Toby, when he saved not Doc Ock, when he saves the Green Goblin from his ass whooping,
Oh, bro.
I feel like that was like his closure.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like he held
that
his fences on that.
Mm-hmm.
because he literally essentially did the same thing that Holland did. Remember when he made a threat to MJ and Toby went nuts and just started beating the shit out of
Oh
him.
hell yeah, brother!
Mm.
You don't slam my girl,
Yeah,
homie. You
yeah.
nuts?
Toby was
And I
like,
could tell that for Toby's Peter, the death of Norman, it's one of his biggest failures, and he got to get a redo this time around.
Yeah,
You know.
well, yeah, because he killed Norman, he also lost his best friend.
yeah,
Yeah.
Um,
yeah. But you
yeah,
can find out from Toby's story though, because something I liked is like he said, yeah, I got my MJ still. So it's like, dang, so he's still cursed and she's still alive over there.
But it's complicated.
you know. Is that the Spider Family? That's what I'm so curious about. I mean, that's why we need to explore that. It happens in the comics, so why not with Toby?
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
and this pretty much wraps up the film, other than the one scene with Doc Ock, having his closure moment. Toby
Oh,
got Toby got a lot of closure. Because he was friends with all his villains.
Yeah.
Like he got a lot of closure. I'll tell you what I didn't like. I didn't like what they did with Lizard and Sandman.
okay.
And they repurposed footage. That wasn't new footage.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
You can tell. Like
Okay.
it's literally the same footage from Spider-Man and Amazing
Amazing
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
when they
Oh,
both
wow.
changed back. Like I was like, what? Was that even them with their voices? Like who did the voices? Who did the voices? Do we know? I don't know who did the voices.
Yeah.
I
It was
just
Migs at home.
Migs, you said it was you.
I mean,
I
listen,
didn't.
if I could get that check delivered to me today, please, I'll admit it. I
La
was
renta, la
slamming.
renta.
Yeah, I didn't like what they did. And what's Jay saying? He's saying not knowing if Norman was genuinely broken up about his life not existing in MCU, no Oscar. That was a pretty solid arc that they gave Norman when he was himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, when he was himself, like there was a lot of emotional scenes with him, and Aunt May, she was connecting with him. So I thought that was a good nod when they said that.
Can we go in on the villains for a little bit? Because like I
Let's
would
do it.
love to
Let's do
talk
it.
some Norman. I would love to talk some Jamie Foxx's Electro. Because
Yeah,
man,
psychos.
like all these guys just did such a good job coming back. Like Alfred Molina, man, like such
Yes.
a drama powerhouse, bro. Like right from the get, and when he goes into his subtle moments and when he flips, it's just so quickly and so good. Man, they
Power
did
of the
such a
sun.
good job just writing these characters.
I wasn't a fan of Jamie Foxx's Electro, bro. It felt like Jamie Foxx
Yeah.
was recasted as Jamie Foxx.
No, but this is better than
I
Blue
wasn't
Boy.
a fan of it either.
This
I
is
was
better
like,
than the blue version, though. Come
listen,
on, man.
like I said, this movie has its flaws, but we love it. I just feel like Jamie was recasted as Jamie Foxx,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he
Like I could see where there's something broken in between, the Max Dillon from that movie and who we got now. Like, if he really just, if this was seconds from him, like him about to die in Amazing Spider-Man 2 and coming back in this one, like if it was seconds, like we just didn't get the explanation of why the physical changes, why the attitude changed as well, because he was just a whole different character then.
Different. And then that's when when the variant talk came in, because it's like, okay, so is Electro just a variant of that original Electro, or what? Do we know? I don't know.
True.
But I mean, I liked him when he was in Electro form. When he was just being a villain, I liked him. But when he was making these quips and these jokes and things, and I'm just like,
that's not Electro.
Yeah, he's just being too. He's being too Jamie Foxx right now.
Yeah,
I
could agree with that.
And like I said, Lizard and I think we lost Nick for a little bit. I feel like Lizard and Sandman were a waste because they didn't bring in the live
hardly
action.
Used. Definitely a great point, Klep. I mean, Lizard was hardly used. This is the muscle of the crew. That's like the Hulk of the crew, and you ain't used homie. I'm pretty sure there's extended cuts somewhere.
like their motivations. Oh, speaking of extended cuts, did you guys know that Morgan Stark was in this movie, but they cut her?
Really?
Yeah, she filmed scenes. Want to add Nick in? She posted on her Instagram. Nick, you dropped for a second. Morgan Stark was in this movie, and she posted on her Instagram when she took a picture of Tom Holland at the premiere and said, although she was cut from the scene from the movie, it was good to see all of her Marvel family again. So she apparently has a scene out there that's in this movie. But
same actress that got cut out of Endgame?
Yeah, the little girl.
Okay.
The little girl. No, not 13 Reasons Why. What's her face? No, the little girl, Morgan.
I would wonder why they cut her. Why they cut her out of the movie?
Well, probably because I could give you two reasons, right? One, probably didn't fit the narrative because it's a Peter Parker story. Two, we're tired of hearing Iron Man Jr.
Yes.
So you bring in Tony's daughter. It's like, is this a Spider-Man movie or is it an Iron Man movie? You know? So, I mean, it's cool. We love those nods, but sometimes those nods aren't necessary. And I mean, it's cool to know that it's out there, and I'm sure we'll get it eventually. It'll come across.
Probably deleted scene or something.
She talked about it, so now it's gonna buzz. I'm pretty sure Sony loves the show shit, so they'll probably put that shit out like real quick. I mean, anything else about the villains? I mean, Doc Ock to me was probably the MVP of the whole movie. I love Goblin.
No, it wasn't the MVP. It was Defoe, because his acting, the most batshit psycho villain for me. He had the breakout, like, wow, because Defoe just is nuts. He's nuts.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I agree with a homie Miggs that Alfred, incredible actor, absolutely. Yeah. But the craziness that this Defoe displays, bro. I mean, it's iconic villainy. I love it.
Now, did you guys miss any villain that didn't come back? Like, did you want it to see maybe Dane's Goblin or James Franco's Goblin in this?
No.
I wanted to see fucking Daredevil pop in and help out a little bit. That's what I wanted to see.
Oh my God. How the fuck did I forget about my favorite Marvel character? Thank you, Al. Holy shit.
We got to see Matt Murdock in his motherfucking movies.
Listen. Man. And ask Nick. I told him, I said, if we get Fisk on Wednesday, we're getting Daredevil on Thursday. And when they put Fisk in Hawkeye, I said, I was like, Matt Murdock is showing up, bro. He's coming. He's in this. Like, he has to be. When I seen that scene,
and along the confirmation of Kevin Feige saying, like, hey, if you do happen to see Daredevil, it will be Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
So, like, I just knew. I'm like, okay, he's not just throwing away that line. I could see Amy Pascal's face right there with the cheese on her face. Like, I knew it was coming.
Oh man, I'm so pissed at myself that we didn't touch base on that earlier.
But it was important because his lawyer and that one scene where he kind of displayed who he was
Yeah.
The Spider-Man, homie caught on like, how the fuck? Wait a minute.
You gotta lawyer up. They kept saying lawyer up, and the whole time I'm like, yo, is he coming? Is he showing up? And then, oh man, yeah, Daredevil. Listen, I'm the only one now that I'm waiting for is John Bernthal. I need Punisher to show up somewhere.
Has he been confirmed yet?
He hasn't been confirmed yet. The only confirmations that I've heard so far, and I shared with Nick earlier, is that Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness has rumored, 2 rumors, that we're going to get Fantastic Four. Yeah. It might be the Fox verse.
And I heard that John Watts is going to be behind that joint, right?
Yeah. John Watts is going to do Fantastic Four. But we may get Magneto. Don't know what version. And then I saw that Multiverse of Madness is rumored to introduce Deadpool. Which I expected that.
The door is so open for any of these older properties to come back and get, like, I don't know, the MCU rub, if you want to call it.
Yes.
Get their little redemption. Like,
man, get that Marvel leche. Is it this or this?
Whatever you want to call it, but it's about to get it, man.
Get that Marvel seasoning.
You know that Jackman, he said he would never do it again. He'll do it again, bro.
Get that marinade on there. That Marvel marinade.
Marinade. We'll see Jon Stewart coming back as Professor X, bro. Like Jon Stewart, Patrick Stewart. So that was hilarious.
Listen, we've wrapped this film. So where do we see this going? Like, where do you guys see this going for the MCU? Because now Spider-Man he's pretty much wrapped for now.
Well,
he's
right
lonely.
Now, Klep, Jamie said it. Jamie said it for me when he said, damn, when he was talking to Andrew, like, yo, you were from Queens, I thought you'd be black. There's got to be a black Spider-Man out there. Yeah. I was like, oh shit! So he already hinted. We getting a Miles soon.
We better get a Miles
proof.
Soon.
We're gonna get proof. Yeah, there is a black Spider-Man. Home. I mean, black and Puerto Rican folks. He's both, please. He's half and half. Remember that.
But I do want to talk about one thing before we get off track and talk about the future of Marvel, right? And let's talk about the ending of the movie before he makes the suit and he has that moment in the coffee shop. And his motivation to, he promised that he was going to tell his friends. We made a promise, too, by the way. Spider-Man broke a promise. Broke a fucking promise. Let's not forget that. But he had a good reason. He wanted to keep them safe. And, the scar on MJ's head reminded him that if she does know about me, they'll always be in danger. And then he turns around and he walks out the. Do we agree with that? Do you guys think that that's the route? Would you have taken that route, or would you played it, just played it by ear and just started all over with the same way you started the first time? I was okay with that ending because I just felt it was perfect for Spider-Man's character. It was important. He needed to do that. I don't like happy Spider-Man. I need that drama.
Not just happy Spider-Man. It's just
when
you love somebody that much, you got to do right by them. And when you're given a second chance to protect them, then that's something you really do need to put into consideration. Like, okay, it's true, like you said, that Band-Aid is what I told them, like, do I want to see her hurt any further? Again, another emotional moment, because this movie isn't just an action-packed movie. It does have so many emotional elements. We understand who Peter is.
But Al, you said something earlier though about that absolute.
Yeah. Oh, there's always going to be the absolute. It's going to happen.
MJ changes
absolute,
nothing.
But not yet. Not yet. He's not ready yet. He just came back fresh through this experience. He's recently traumatized, the way I see it. So right now, no, it's not the right time. Let her enjoy MIT. Give her some time. Let her enjoy her life.
This changes absolutely nothing. And even with Ned, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, Ned is yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I can't wait. Oh my God! Once we get Ned in this motherfucker, because again, I mean, was any of the technology left behind from Homie, over here for us to have Ned on this on Holland proper?
I think that that nod with him having magic or whatever was just for the movie, but this leaves things open so wide that we may get our Hobgoblin, which would make sense if they do the Sinister Six again. Let's mix it up and do different villains.
Yeah, because
Let's do
what
different
did he
villains.
say? I promise I'll never be your villain.
But he forgets that. He
The
don't know
absolute.
that no more.
Yep.
The absolute though,
That
that,
promise
like you
gone.
said, that absolute, it's gonna come.
It's bound to happen.
It's supposed to happen.
I
What's
wouldn't be
supposed to happen will
surprised
happen.
if we go this upcoming trilogy, right? Because like it's confirmed there's a new Spider-Man trilogy in the works.
It is.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see a Spider-Man in the MCU for a long time. He just goes and have his own personal stories now, and that might be more of a Sony product, and it might just include more Sony characters.
You think more of a Peter Parker extended universe, and then we could get Spidey films through MCU?
I just don't see Tom Holland interacting with some of our MCU.
But we have to see
for a while
because we already saw Hardy in that thing. I mean, where did he go?
Yeah,
we're gonna get Venom proper. When he said we gotta meet Spider-Man, all right, with Spider-Man.
That was a waste, I thought, with the Venom thing.
Yeah, listen. I'm not a fan of the Venom movies. You guys, some of y'all know this. I hate them. Keep that shit separate, please,
but he
man.
said I
keep that shit.
I hate them.
Keep that shit separate. Let the symbiote come into the MCU. Give us a legit comic book accurate Venom, and let Tom Hardy do his thing over in the Sonyverse. Because they fucking wasted Carnage. Like that was such a fucking waste.
Agreed.
Like I don't want that to spill. Like listen, and I'm sure Kevin knows. He's like, listen. Yeah, it's making money. People love it. But, let's keep that over there and let's do our thing over here.
I'm telling you, Sony wants Tom Holland. So Tom got to go work for Sony for a while. Just say your goodbyes. He'll be back. But for the next few years, any movies you get from Spider-Man, it's going to be more of the hand of Sony, doing their marionette thing.
Okay, you think. Okay.
Okay, so how about this? Maybe if... I don't know. I'm just overthinking. Maybe if Carnage comes back or one of the other ones comes back in the MCU and then Tom Holland has to get Venom to help him, like Spider-Man and Venom went against Carnage before. I'm just
it's
not
gonna have to happen.
I'm not a fan of Tom Hardy in the Venom. I'm not a fan of that Venom property at all. But then the Doctor Strange trailer happens and we got all kinds of Easter eggs. All kinds of Easter eggs. I'm excited about.
I left so hyped from that, man. I love me that trailer.
Nick
I
put
love
me
me
on.
some What If. So when I saw that man right there, Strength Supreme come back, I knew it was on, bro. I knew it.
Yeah, you saw that though? Holy shit! Right? Jaw dropping.
The Necromancer. I didn't even know about that. I didn't know that was his name. I just call him Evil Doctor Strange. I didn't know that he had an actual name, and Nick put me on to that. I don't know, man. I was excited because I want to see a dark MCU movie, and I think this will finally be it.
Well, they said it's gonna be horror based and shit.
Yeah, shout out to Sam Raimi. Shout out to Sam Raimi, and I'm glad. I want to see how they bring America Chavez into this because I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge fan of the Young Avengers and the newer generation. So I really want that to come into play, like Kate Bishop and in America and Riri Williams and all of that, Ms. Marvel. Like I want to see all that come to play. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this movie for that, to be real. Like Strange can do no wrong to me, but I want to see the newer generation shine. That's why I'm out with it. Nick doesn't give a fuck about the Young Avengers.
Nah, not really.
Listen,
I could care less about them. I've been too conditioned. I've been too conditioned to what we have, man. I could care less about them. Throw them on a Hulu special.
Nick don't care because you don't got Young Avengers #1. That's why.
Nah, throw them on a Hulu special. I could care less about them.
You said a Hulu special. You said treat them like the Runaways. You said treat them like the Runaways. Oh
yeah,
shit.
Treat them like the Runaways. I could care less.
Oh man,
I'm already conditioned with what we have.
Listen, that Ms. Marvel show is gonna be epic. I'm telling you.
Well, I hope so. Listen. I hope I have great anticipation that we're gonna get this great stuff that's gonna continue to celebrate our fandom. And that's all I could
Mm,
ever really hope for. If you're
yeah.
gonna have the discussion, let's just keep them fun and all, and have a good time and joke about it, like just like we're doing here. But again, to each to their own, right? If it's not for us, that's all right. Somebody else enjoys it. Find what you like. That's not a problem. Nick collect his old school Marvels, as you collect the new Avengers as they're coming. I mean,
Mm,
again, I'm not the biggest America Chavez fan for my own reasons, and convoluted bullshit just to fit narratives that I don't appreciate. But
yeah.
I'm loving me my Kate Bishop on Hawkeye. I'll tell you that.
Hmm. I like Kate Bishop. I can't wait to see Miss Marvel. Can't wait to see Riri and Black Panther 2. Listen, we just need some guys. Like, they're
Yeah,
bringing
but
in
with
all
this,
the females. Like,
where's
what?
the testosterone? It's okay.
Right?
They're not all
Yeah.
villains,
Where's
ladies.
Iron Lad? Where's Iron Lad? Where's
Uh,
Hulkling? Where's, I
they're
mean,
not
well,
all
we,
villains. Just because we
yeah.
have a dick, it doesn't mean we're bad guys.
Maybe we'll get, because since Wanda is in Doctor Strange too, maybe we'll get Quick Wicked and Speed.
Why
At,
not?
at
Get
oh,
them.
adults, or a little
Let's
older.
let's just bring them on. Let's just bring them on. There's a lot of great, amazing, youthful characters that could be brought on, across the spectrum. So let's do it, and let's bring on some of those older characters. I'm dying to see me some Blue Marvel.
Oh, Blue Marvel. Yeah, they've been building that for a while.
Yeah, but
I
they
think I
gotta
think it's
bring him on.
I think it's gonna show up in the Marvels. I think
They,
he'll be
they
in the
have
Marvels.
to, because didn't he have his own team? And kind of a minority Avengers, if you will.
Mm, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Luke Cage was there. Photon was there.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah, he
saying.
was
Kind of
there.
like the
Yeah,
minority Avengers and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah.
Yo, put me in there, bro. Put me in there.
Right, Wepa, there we go. Let's get Mr. Wepa and fucking Big Migs on that motherfucker too. Bro. Let's do it.
But listen, I mean, guys, I mean, that's all I gotta say about Spider-Man: No Way Home. I
I
mean,
loved it. That's it.
I loved it too. My final review for this movie, I'm gonna give it maybe a 3.54 out of 5.
Oh,
Three,
wait, so?
five, 4 out of 5. Out of 5, I'm giving a 3.54, like a three
Wow.
and a half, 4. Because,
Okay.
like
Out
I
of
said,
5?
yeah, out of 5. Because like I said, it's a great movie. It's watchable. I will watch it 1,000 times over. But narrative wise, there are some things in this movie that I'm not happy with. But I think it's a great Spider-Man flick. I think that it is great for fandom. I think it's great for comic book lovers, Spider-Man lovers. I will watch this movie 1,000 times over. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna go do what Al did and what Nick did, and I'm not throwing myself under the bus, but I'm gonna watch it again for the third time. Listen, I paid twice. So I'm gonna watch it again. Actually, I paid 3 times because someone bought tickets off of me, and so that's
Oh,
like,
look
yeah,
Damn, look at his
now,
pimp,
huh?
bro.
yeah. So yeah, no, I'm gonna definitely watch this again a couple of times this week because I just like how it makes me feel. But I don't think it's Black Panther like you know what I mean,
I
like.
could disagree. I think it's just as exciting.
Uh,
I loved it. It gave
It's
me
very,
great
it's very,
energy,
but okay.
great
That
smiles, comic books.
maybe Black Panther wasn't the one that, but it wasn't Endgame, it wasn't Infinity War to me, but it was a really good Spider-Man movie. But there are some flaws in it, and a lot of it stems from the characters like Jamie Foxx, what they did with Lizard, what they did with. That feels sloppy. That feels extremely sloppy. What they did with Sandman and Lizard, like that feels very careless and like, oh, we just got to get the movie done and let's not go hire the guy. Like, come on, man. Did they say no? Did they say they didn't want to come back? I don't. If that's the case, then okay. But if they had the opportunity to bring them back, they should have brought them back.
Okay, I could agree
You
with
know,
that point wholeheartedly.
like,
Yeah.
and that's what gives it a perfect score for me. When you bring them all back and do it the right way, and Jamie Foxx is not being Jamie Foxx, then I'm in. But it's not a perfect movie to me. But it's good. It's
Yeah,
fucking damn good. But
it's
it's
a
not a
great
perfect
movie,
movie.
but I feel like there's a lot of homework to do
Yeah,
prior to watching
yeah.
it.
Hmm.
That's my biggest critique. Like you
Yep.
can't just go in there and be like, "Oh, cool, old Spider-Man," and not as old Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
like not know those guys and know why it's so special seeing them on there and understanding, what they're talking about at times.
I mean, the
It's
pops
a
were
great
there,
movie, but
man.
you gotta cover your bases before you watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. For that, you should have just introduced new villains instead of bringing in, you know, CGI versions of two very well known characters. Like they're very known. Like, why are you bringing in CGI versions? I don't know. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that, guys. You guys have any final words or anything else to say? We can get the hell up out of here. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
I'm Spider-Man 4, yo.
Spider-Man
Toby?
4, it's coming. It's in development.
Let's
It's
do
in
it.
development. It's coming.
I still liked
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, no. Listen, it's great. It's a great movie,
Great
but
movie.
it's got some
Minor
tweaks.
flaws.
Yeah, very
Minor.
Yeah.
I
But
loved it.
yeah,
What do you guys think this thing's gonna be box office wise by the next weekend?
Again, almost $750 million.
Yeah.
Three.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's already 300 something.
There you go.
So
It's gonna
like,
get by next week $750 million. Watch.
remember the Christmas break's still coming.
Yeah, yo. And people want this is a great family movie. That's another thing about it. Again, it pulls at the emotional spectrum. So it's not just a regular traditional, action movie. I mean, it really does pull at the emotion. It's a YA movie. I mean, it deals with grief. It has action. It's fun. It's well-known characters. And like Nick said, it touches, not just the young fan base, but the older fan base that, like my wife says, oh, Toby's my Spider-Man. So when once I told her she's in it, oh, I need to see this movie. She doesn't want to see it the Almega way, but
Yeah.
I
mean, it's worth a theater ride. It's worth a couple of theater rides. Like, listen, I would pay to see this movie a few more times. If it was my only option, I would definitely do it.
And that's That's the Klep way, though. He supports movie theaters to the core. You know what though? Much respect to that because the theaters need that. So thank you for being that type of dude to support theaters.
Marvel is the new variant. That's the Omicron right there, or Cron, whatever it's called. That Marvel's the new.
That's just like a Transformers Omicron.
Yeah. Marvel is the new COVID variant, and everyone's infected. Look at the box office.
Madness is gonna make an Omicron toy one of these days. And shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, guys. So yeah, as always, guys, it's been a pleasure. I want to thank you all for tuning in with us. If you were chilling with us, shout out to my man Jay Madsen and King Lee Gore. A Train, I see you in there. He said this shit was garbage.
Oh wow,
too much fan service and it was, oh shit. Yo, tell them how you feel, bro. Because listen,
A Train is too on that boy.
I don't think it's a perfect film either, brother. Trust me. I think it's fun. I think it was a lot of fan service, and that's why a lot of people are hung up on it, which is okay. It's okay to have fan service, man. It's okay to feel that way. Nah, I mean, everybody. Hey, listen, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and like I said, fan service can be a good thing for some people, and sometimes it's not, and that's just the truth. But Marvel definitely leaned in on that for this film, and yeah, that's it. So, guys, thanks for stopping by. We're out of here. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And for more movie news and television news, guys, check out wearecritics.com. Check out my man Al Mega. Where can they find you, Al Mega?
Well, you can find me everywhere at the Real Al Mega. You can also visit the Comic Crusaders website. Keep up all the things comics and more at comiccrusaders.com. And of course, let me do this for you, my brother, because I love your family. You can follow me right here on Instagram, Notorious809. All right. And then, listen, I know I got my own toy guy, but you got your toy boss supreme right here too with Mayhem Madness. So follow the big homie all over Instagram, the Twitters, and the YouTubes, because Mayhem, you do wonderful work. But of course, bro, listen, I know I'm a guest here, but I just want to be like your Ed McMahon, brother. I need you to follow my boy Klep right here, all over the Instagrams and Twitters and the Facebook, bro. Listen, right there, bro. You got a link tree. Folks, follow Klepcx at. It's gonna give you all those good details, my brother. I hope I did justice there, kiddo.
we hit 1,000 subscribers, guys. Hey! Like I didn't think that it was gonna happen as fast as it did, but it did. It happened, and we're here. And like I told you, I promised y'all once I hit 1,000, we're gonna be going live a lot more often. So you're gonna be seeing a lot more live shows from me as well with my homies. If they're free and they want to come hang out, we're going to just keep giving you the content and having a good time and talking conversations about movies, television, pop culture. So on that note, guys, I want everybody, again, like, comment, share, make sure you subscribe, and please wake up, be passionate, create, and repeat, and we out of here. Hit them with that intro, please.
Later.